I've already told you, with archaeological data in parallel, and with parallel sources, Byzantine, Scandinavian, Arab, Byzantine, and so on.
And how do you cross-check them?
Those, in turn, are cross-checked with other relevant neighboring sources.
So they cross-check each other?
In other words, there's such a thing as the methodology of history as a science, but unfortunately, you're not familiar with it.
Do you admit that history is distorted? Do you admit that history is distorted?
History is distorted because, first, there aren't enough sources,
Yeah.
and second, we don't always fully understand what's written in the sources.
And can the source itself distort information?
The source itself definitely distorts information because it was written by a person. We're not dealing with a fact. Like in physics, we're dealing with an interpretation of that fact. That's exactly why the methodology of history exists. You need to study history in order to understand how to critically verify a source, to extract and separate the author's own opinion, as you said, from the source, and get to the real fact that's hidden behind it. That's why, in some respects, history is a much more complicated science than physics.
Do you agree with the opinion that any historical fact that isn't supported by some kind of excavations or, well, real evidence confirming the fact is subjective? So it's impossible to.
Let me say it again. We, as historians, deal with documentary sources. An archaeologist deals with material sources, but material sources are silent. They only describe material culture, while written sources are created by people. And within the source itself, there is already a point of view, or, as you say, the opinion of the author of the source. That's why I repeat the same phrase again. You probably didn't understand it. That's why a professional historian must remove the author's personal opinion and views from the source and understand what fact the source actually confirms. And if this fact is further cross-checked through other sources, then the fact really did occur. But the interpretation or explanation of this fact by the author of the source needs to be removed, leaving only the actual fact. And if it is also archaeologically confirmed,